Jazakallah khair to both of our speakers, especially speaking from your personal experiences. I think it really resonated with a lot of us who have experienced different kinds of grief, and I'm glad both of you were able to touch on the different emotions that come with it. Some of the questions that we've got that came through the app, I believe some were answered hopefully during the speeches. For Ustada, is there a significance of dreaming of a loved one who has passed away? You can go ahead and use the table mic.
Thanks. Thank you. So, yeah, we're on. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I think there is definitely significance from a spiritual standpoint, but I would, after I comment, I also want Dr. Syed to comment on that as well, because I think that there's also that psychological aspect of kind of what appears in our dreams. But generally speaking, from within the Islamic tradition, to see the deceased loved one in a dream and that person is in a good state is taken as a sign that that person is in a good state in the akhirah. Now, I want you to understand, though, that for some people have what's kind of spiritual sensitivity. So they'll often have very clear, very vivid dreams that might actually be kind of indicative of what's going on. For others, we have to kind of be careful, because sometimes we might have a dream that's frightening or disturbing, and understand that, again, from an Islamic standpoint, that might be that when we go to sleep, the belief is that the soul is going to depart the body, mingle with other souls, maybe even travel through that intermediate realm of the barzakh, and sometimes shaitan will try to disturb that soul. So just to keep that in mind, that it's just because you might see a particular dream does not mean kind of like decisively that things are one way or the other in the akhirah, but generally a good dream is a good sign. Having said that, though, if maybe there's a dream that person is not doing well, there are things we can do in this dunya, and that's really important, to recite Quran for them, to make dua for them, to give charity on their behalf. But maybe if Dr. Syed can comment also on that aspect of dreams where we need to be careful not to fixate on them, because sometimes people will come and they'll say, hey, I had this dream and now I can't do anything now. Inshallah, if you wanted to comment on that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. So dreams also, remember, can be a manifestation of our thoughts. So when you are experiencing a loss, when you're thinking about someone, missing them, it's very common to have that person appear in your dream. So along with, inshallah, the spiritual aspect of it, sometimes it's also important to remember that we may not always be conscious of missing someone. Sometimes it's almost a subconscious yearning or a subconscious desire that they would have attended this, or they would have seen this, or they would have been part of this. And that can also cause someone to appear in your dreams. But to recognize that at the end of it, you make dua for the person, and then you have to stay focused on what's present and what's happening here and now in your life.
Jazakallah khair. For Dr. Sarah, I know you touched on self-care. Can you talk about what actually is self-care? I know it's become kind of a buzzword, from yoga to eating dark chocolate, but things that we can do.
Absolutely. So both of those would definitely come under self-care, whether it's yoga or eating dark chocolate or chocolate. But self-care is essentially the steps that you take to prioritize your well-being, to prioritize your health. So I'm going to compare it first to physical self-care. Most people understand that as things like, making sure you take your vitamins, you eat well, you have fruits and vegetables, lean meats, exercise regularly. So emotional, mental self-care is similar. You have to make sure that you're making time for things that help you feel relaxed, things that make you laugh. In our culture, in American culture, in modern life today, self-care tends to be the last thing we prioritize. It tends to be something we do as a reward. If I'm done with all of my chores, then I'll watch this show that I like. Or if I finished everything that I could possibly think of to finish, then I'll read a chapter of this book that I'm really enjoying. But those things actually need to be a part of our routine. Those things need to be part of our schedule. Making time to do things that help us to feel comfortable and safe and relaxed is not a luxury. It needs to be part of what we do regularly, as well as basic hygiene, taking a bath and shower regularly, changing your clothes regularly, eating and having a healthy appetite, exercising. I really do want to stress the exercise portion, because for a lot of people, getting yourself into an exercise routine is the hardest part. Once you're in it, the emotional and physical benefits are pretty clear, and most people really enjoy a good workout. You may need to find something that works for you. If you hate the treadmill, don't try to go on the treadmill every day. Find something that you enjoy, whether it could be, Zumba, walking. Even in the winter, I'm from Chicago, I'm from here, I'll put on my big coat and I'll take walks even in the winter. There's a different kind of like refreshing energy that comes from that. Whatever works for you, but prioritizing time to exercise. I was really busy today, my kids were sick, I didn't get dinner done, I still have grading to do, I still have notes to finish, but I have to exercise the same way I have to take a shower, I have to take care of myself, and that's self-care. When we don't, our well-being, our function takes a dive. We don't do as well. We don't sleep as well. Our mood is affected. And all of that is linked back to prioritizing your well-being. And one last thing I'll say, that especially for women, there's this mentality of, if I take time to spend time with friends, watch a show, read a book, it's selfish. It's taking away from chores that I should do or needs that my family has. I actually look at it the other way around. If you want to do well for your family, for your kids, for your spouse, for your career, for your community, you have to be well. If you're not well, they don't get the best from you. So it's the other way around to me. If they are important to you, if your priorities are important to you, then they deserve the best of you. For you to be the best, you have to take the time to take care of yourself.
Jazakallah khair. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this session. I want to respect